name's Katie. I'm from England and I've lived in the Dominican Republic for 6 years. And I'm one of the team leads at RealtorDR. Happy to say that I'm very happy and no intention of going anywhere. So I welcome you to this webinar. It's actually my first one, so be gentle and we'll go through step by step. So yeah, welcome and I hope you enjoy it. And at the end, I'll look forward to hearing about some of your thoughts and answering questions and hearing a little bit about you also. So to start, an overview of the Dominican Republic. So the Dominican Republic is the second largest Caribbean island after Cuba. We also probably have one of the most diverse typographies of the Caribbean. We go from anywhere from beautiful beachfront to mountains with the highest mountain in the Caribbean, which sometimes sees snow in different parts of the island. We also have desert and cactuses. So we're really diverse. And pretty much every year, our average is about 25 degrees, doesn't really go below, and we enjoy sunshine most of the year and the occasional shower, which I have to say feels very close to home. And so when we're looking at real estate, then there are two really important factors that we need to take into consideration. There's lots of options. When I was first asked this question, about 10 answers popped to my head. But with research, it's been narrowed down to two very important factors when it comes to purchasing real estate and investing in it. Oh, there we go. So the first one is location. You'll always know location, location, location. Everything is about your location. Where are you placed? Are you placed in a community that's going to grow? Are you placed in a commercial space when you want a residential home? Do you want ocean views, but you're set back? All of that takes into consideration when you are investing in real estate and looking to resell. And then the second most important one is timing. Timing is everything. Are you going to purchase a property at the right time? Is it going to be when it's maxed out of its appreciation, when the market's at the top? Is it going to be when the market's crashing? Is it going to be when a property is not even broken ground, so you're buying pre-construction, which we'll touch more on? So at the end of the day, timing is absolutely crucial to see what the returns on your investment will be in the end. We've looked to the Caribbean kind of in the the Dominican in the spectrum of the Caribbean in the world. So now we're going to look a little bit more at why the Dominican Republic as a country as a whole. So the Dominican culture is vibrant, it's colorful, you've got Spanish, it's infused, it's beautiful. We enjoy all the cuisine stemming from fried chicken, rice and beans, fresh fish. It's delicious. And the locals here are very happy to embrace foreigners and welcome them into their homes. That's one of the beautiful things about the Latin culture that I didn't even know before I arrived here, and I was welcomed with open arms. As I said, we have the gorgeous landscapes. It's a very diverse typography. The warm weather all year round. In Celsius, we don't really get below 20 degrees. And then when it comes to real estate, you get more for less. So you get way more for your money here than pretty much anywhere in the world. So you're able to get a lot more value out of your money here. Our community is diverse. It's a melting pot of cultures. The quality of food is affordable, especially if it is grown and sourced in the Dominican. You're not paying more than $1-2 sometimes for a plate of food. The country as a whole actually is a very self-sustained country. So if everything, all blew up in the end, the Dominican Republic would be able to feed itself and look after itself without relying on outside imports. The tourism industry here thrives all year round. I say this to my friends, my family, and my clients. It will always be paradise here. No matter what goes on in the world, people will always know this is paradise. And you can come, relax, be under a coconut tree, and really enjoy. The government is actually very stable at this point. Obviously, it took a few years to get off the ground, but where we're at now is very stable. And the Dominican's economy has actually been rated the fastest growing one in the Latin economies. And We have very affordable healthcare. So a lot of people come over here for their healthcare, for their dentistry, for any surgeries. We have some of the world-class surgeons. And then when it comes to schools, we have some of the most internationally accredited schools here. So you can come here with your children and know that they will get an education of a level that they would also receive in their home country. So we've looked at the Dominican in relation to the Caribbean, the Dominican as a whole, and now we're going to be zoning in on the North Coast. So why more specifically the North Coast? It has been, the island as a whole has been rated #1 in the tourism industry for 2 years in a row. We welcome over 640,000 non-residents to the country. We have the biggest port as well, which is a bridge from Latin America through to Northern America, which is in Puerto Plata, and it receives around 100,000 visitors every month. I was actually staggered by that myself. And then on top of that, we are also the water sports capital of the Caribbean. So you can kite surf, windsurf, foil, surf, pretty much everything. We have epic waves because of the Atlantic Ocean. And then we have these really strong winds from the east, which the kiters adore. And it makes such a cool community of active expats and people all looking for that type of alternative lifestyle. So Dominican as a whole, North Coast, and now Sosua Ocean Village. So why Sosua Ocean Village? Maybe some of you have heard of it, possibly others haven't. Maybe you've heard of it and never been there. So we're just going to look at an overview at the moment. The project, the village, has 160 acres of land and property, which is also 160 soccer pitches. That's how I understood and learned acres. They have 600 meters of coastline. They have a solar shuttle bus that goes around. They also have a huge field of solar panels, which helps with the energy of the village. You have 24/7 security. You have garbage pickup and disposal. You have no electric wires above your head. Everything is underground. There's a central water and a sewage system. Internet and cable. You have an ATM in case you run out of money. Sometimes here you end up not having any cash and places don't take your card, so you need to go and get cash. So to have an ATM on site is really advantageous. You have 3 world-class restaurants. You have Maria's with 2 infinity pools that are spectacular. You have Santa Fe, which is a huge restaurant that just opened this year, and it actually has the biggest saltwater infinity pool in the Caribbean with 1 million gallons of saltwater pool, and it really is spectacular. It has big rocky crevices with waterfalls, and if you have children, you'd love it, and if you don't have children, they have beautiful cabanas that you can just lie on like in the shade. It has a spectacular gym with 68 machines overlooking the ocean, so you can work out and remember that you're in paradise whilst you're in pain. And it has a kids water park as well, so your kids can go and enjoy all within Sosua Ocean Village. So the timeline for Sosua Ocean Village has been to date about 16 years from when they started. So we'll touch more on why it's a good investment, but this is part of the reason why, because when you invest, you want to look at the timeline. You want to see that they have proven track records of developments. You want to see their history and know that they've been successful. So starting in 2007, when they originally started, that's when they started their construction. They went there from opening a clubhouse to starting condominiums to expanding to do villas, and eventually it's become a more organized and a bigger village or city than probably Cabarete, the town itself. You have 24 condos in Villa Campo del Mar 2. You have 36 villas in Las Palmas. You have 6 Ocean Village Deluxe villas, 22 Villa Garden Dreams, and 54 condos as well outside of that. And you'll also probably be thinking about who your neighbors are, which is one of the big factors of buying. And if you can see this little graph on the pie chart on the side, all those different colors are people from different countries. So you have predominantly the US, you have Dominicans in there, Canadians, Russians, Germans. Italians, Great Britain. So no matter where you're from, you'll always be in good company, and you'll probably always be able to find someone from actually where you're from yourself. So another thing when you're looking at buying, it was what we were also saying about location, location, location. What do you need when you're somewhere? What are the basics that you need? You want to be close to an airport. Boom, you have Puerto Plata, 15 minutes away. You want a little bit further, sometimes due to cheaper flights, it's only an hour and a half. It's not going to cripple you. So that is off a little bit further for you. You have a supermarket that is 3 minutes away, and arguably you could probably walk it, but you'd struggle with bringing your stuff back. You have a hospital 2 minutes down the road. You have Sosua Beach, which is one of my favorite beaches on the island, which is actually only 8 minutes away by car. You have the world-class surfing beach in Puerto Beach within 10 minutes. Kite Beach, the world-renowned Kite Beach within 8 minutes. We also have Playa Dorada, which is a huge, beautiful, spectacular complex with one of the best golf courses in the world, which is 30 minutes away. And then, there's a couple of restaurants down there, but you are just surrounded by great restaurants. We always have a different choice that we would like to go to. So for this part of the Canadian and the US market, I'd like to introduce Robert, who is our co-founder of RealtorDR and Canadian.
I don't think I'm a tycoon, but today I've actually been the technical guy with the mouse behind the scenes. So I guess I'm a person of many hats. And one thing that I always believe is really important is to leverage other people's experience and to learn from talented people or smarter people, have them around you. And it's kind of obvious right now that Canada and US, the market conditions in real estate have changed over the last few years with the rising interest rates. That's resulting in a surplus of available homes. And what's happening with those interest rates too is the higher they go up, the lower the pricing is expected to drop in the home prices. And the cost of living, it hasn't went down. It's continued to increase. And when you combine that with your income tax and your property tax, what that equals is, the timing is it's understanding when you're forecasting where we are today in the Canadian and American market to where we're going to be next year in 2023 and 2024. And realistically, it's going to be a little bit difficult transaction. It's going to be a time where you're going to see a correction in pricing. And I think if you look at all the underlying economic factors, you can see that happening, right? And one of the articles that's posted over here just talks about the pre-construction condo market in Toronto that has over 1,000 developments currently in progress. And, the forecast that was happening there is that when you made a purchase on a pre-construction condo and you got locked in or a pre-approval at a much lower interest rate, now that they're actually coming to completion dates or slowly approaching completion dates, you have a higher interest rate. So people are getting approved for less. They're having to come up with more money. And what that's doing is it's a much higher carrying cost than what they expected. So from the moment that they're moving in, if they do close, it's really difficult from an investor standpoint to be profitable with your investment. A lot of people are in that red zone from day one. So when we talk about timing and we look at the North American climate, I think it's for most people to be curious or to have an open mind to learn a little bit more about diversifying, about the US dollar in different opportunities. I think there's never been a better timing to have curiosity.
Absolutely. So kind of following on from that, now here we're starting actually to look at Laguna City and how you can get into Laguna City. So one of the best things is its entry level pricing. So it's not going to break your bank account. This is probably the lowest you could buy property in most places in the world. Definitely where I'm from in England, it'd be difficult to get one for $109,000 US. Probably the same in Northern America and Canada as well. So they start at 109 and they go up to 165. They are all studios. So 2 different types of studios and 1 bedrooms. So that's the setup of it. And now basically, so we have the low entry price points, and we also have the owner financing, which is one of the most useful resources that the Dominican offers. So getting mortgages here and loans can be a little bit complicated and drawn out. So off the back of that, what developers do and owners do to stimulate the market is they offer owner financing themselves. And it's stress-free, no credit checks. They don't go through rigorous, checking your life, etc. They offer owner financing. And the terms for this is 50% down and the other 50% finance over 5 years at 6.5%. So it's one of the advantageous things for this project. And when it comes to how you do that, you start with a 5,000 reservation. You sign a promise of sale around 7 to 10 days afterwards, at which point 30% of the value gets put down. And then when the actual construction really starts and they break ground, then the next 20% go down. So what you're kind of thinking is probably timelines for this. So to start, the breaking ground will be in spring 2023, but they have already started with the basic infrastructure. So if you're here or you're over wherever you are, I'll be happy to show you by phone or walk with you through the actual property so you can see that they started. A lot of the time that's a fear with pre-constructions. Are they going to start? When are they going to start? But here we actually have accurate timelines. So we have spring for when they actually break ground. At grade construction is when the walls are done, when the shells are done, when the concrete is done, and that is when the next 20% gets put down. And then in spring of 2024, you're looking at completion. And then, yeah, also one of the good things is that they will be finishing the communal areas of the project before the actual buildings. So you will be able to have the communal area first, building second. So no matter what happens, you'll always be able to walk out to your beautiful, luxurious garden in the center of the project. So I really enjoy this infographic or render because it gives you a good visual on what you're getting into. A lot of the time with floor plans, they're great, but sometimes you can't see exactly where's my view going to be or who's going to be above me or what's the setup of the building. So here you can see this is going to be one of the buildings. There are 3 to start. We're setting 3 of the buildings. And this is an example of one. So you have 4 on the bottom and the 1 bedrooms are on the outside. The slightly bigger studios are the next in. And on the top, the 3 next floors are when the smaller studios are. And those are the lowest ones. These are the 109, 112. Those are the smaller studios going out a little bit bigger. And then you have the 1 bedrooms on the end. So Sosua Village, as you can see, is really a village. And if you look over to where Laguna City actually is, that is the layout of the project. And as you can see, all the buildings are going around the outside and you have a communal space in the middle. This was designed with Central Park in mind, which I really enjoy. So they thought about your neighbors, thought about what you're going to be looking at. So they've created a central area that is almost around 250 meters, I believe, of space, where you have walking paths, tropical gardens. You actually have a little fishing lake. There's going to be a cafe on site serving some snacks and coffee. So you're going to be part of the complex, but you won't feel it. And for each of the 3 buildings, they're going to have 2 swimming pools each. So they will have an adult pool, so a slightly bigger one, and then also a child's one. 2 swimming pools for the 3 units. So if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. And this is one of the most important things that investors and buyers look for is the numbers. They'll always look at the numbers, whether you're looking for your ROI, whether you're actually, this is all the money you have in the world, you're looking at this. So as you can see here, we've broken it down with the price, average nightly rate, the occupancy, which is actually an average. So that is a medium of high season and low season. And we've put it at 60%, which is the average here. We are a tourist town, so short-term rentals are always in demand all year round. And you can start to look at how this breaks down from there. One of the questions that we get is about property management. So I also want to say that we have property managers that we will recommend. We have some fantastic ones. But with a project of this nature, you are actually able to rent this remotely. So you can do all of the bookings and everything online. The combination of lock boxes and the on-site cleaning service that Sosua Ocean Village offer, you would be able to avoid that 10-20% off from a property manager, and you could actually manage this, your rentals properly. So kind of going over looking at your cap rates, which is one thing that probably most of your eyes went to, because that's what investors are looking for. Your cap rate obviously is your net income over the estimated market value of the property, and that gives you that number. In Northern America and Canada, you're looking 6-7%. That's kind of considered safe and a little bit on the high end. But over here, looking at the numbers, you're going from anywhere from 12 to 15% on your cap rate. So thinking with an investor hat on, it's a very strong move. And there are also ways that you can get higher occupancy. So these are they're the average and they what can be expected, but there's no restriction to you exceeding that. So you're able to decorate your apartment in a special way that kind of gets people excited. You're able to become a super host if you want to be on Airbnb, so you're permanently booked. How you manage your property can be your own, so you can maximize these numbers. These are just a guide to give you an idea. Comfortor, one of my favorite points. So Comfortor is a Dominican government tax exemption incentive for developers. It is rigorous to attain, very difficult, but once attained, the exemptions are fantastic. Now, SOV, Sosua Ocean Village, have attained Comfortor for all of their projects so far, and they're in the final phases of confirming it. So there are four main benefits as a consumer, a client, or a buyer that you can benefit from. The developer benefits in other tax exemptions when it comes to materials. But as a buyer, you are able to benefit from for 15 years, the first time buyer, when that title is in your name, you get Comfortor. So you are exempt from one of the closing costs that you can expect as a buyer in the Dominican Republic would be a 3% transfer tax. So your name is transferred into the title. You're exempt. You don't have to pay it. Secondly, annual property tax is 1% of the sales value of your property. You are also exempt from paying property tax with Comfortor. Okay, so you've got property annual for 15 years, right? So you have, when you close, you're exempt. Annual property tax, you are also exempt. Income tax, you're exempt. You'd be subject to 27% on your income being taxed from your rental income. You are also exempt from that for 15 years. You are also exempt when you come to sell your apartment. You'll be exempt from capital gains tax, which would be 27% of any appreciation over the purchase price that you bought it from. So those are four benefits that the first-time buyer of these properties will be able to enjoy for 15 years. And that's the beauty of Comfortor that the Dominican government offers to developers. So in summary, is the location right for you, and is the time right for you? These are the type of things that I've noticed with clients that they end up kicking themselves that they didn't make a move before. So you can see at the bottom of this page, there's the availability, and the yellow ones are the ones that we already had reserved. We actually only open sales or taking reservations on them and an additional 4 reservations today. And we actually only open sales on Monday of this week, really. So that is, we've been kind of talking about it, but Monday we start taking reservations. So you can see that we have 6 there with a further 4 today, and we are only on Thursday. So these are the things that you have to think about and think, am I going to regret this later? And then just as an extra little cherry on top, we are offering, or Sosua Ocean Village are offering, for anyone who purchases before December the 31st, you will get to enjoy a 6-month free gym membership. I believe is it 2 for each purchase? But you're able to use their gym, which is a world-class facility, for free for 6 months. And then you are also eligible for 50 Santa Fe free passes. So for the amazing, biggest Caribbean saltwater pool in the island, in the Caribbean, you're able to have 53 passes that you can use over the course of next year. And then also as an owner, you are given free access to Casa Club, 50% discount in the Laguna SOV park, which is the water park for the kids, which I spend most of my weekends out with mine, and 10% discount at all the restaurants. And then you're also there's several tennis courts there that you're able to have a discount of 10% on any. I was wondering if anyone has any questions now, if anything outstanding that you would like to go through. Oh, you can either say it out loud or you can write it in the chat if you have anything that you would like to ask. Okay, so we'll just go through the financing option again, because it's one of those things that you want to take advantage of if the opportunity arises. So with this project, you're able to put 50% down over the course of 2 installments, a 30% and a 20%. You have a fixed interest rate over 5 years at 6.5%. And then at the end of that, you own your own property and you've been financed. So that's one of the best incentives for this project, that you can actually acquire a property for 60,000 really off the bat. But in general, if there are no questions, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And I'll follow up with each of you and check how it went and see if you have any more questions and if I can help you with any of your real estate options here in the Dominican. And to be honest, then probably not going to last very long. So I would make a move. Otherwise, I don't want to hear that you should have made the move. Okay? Thank you so much and have a great evening. Take care. Bye. Oh, and also this is a little model into the office and have a look and talk to us all about it. All right, thank you.